Are you ready to learn? If you're ready to learn, we're going to go straight into resistance. And by resistance, I mean probably one of the reasons as to why you're not quite hitting the goal. So maybe if you're kind of on the verge of a transformation, but it just doesn't always end out that well, it doesn't really get to the total success, this is going to be for you. Because today, as we talk about resistance, it really comes down to the level of what we are actually resisting in our life. Now, if you're experiencing issues in your life, let's just say it's anxiety. Maybe you're experiencing fear. Maybe you're experiencing that kind of niggling self-doubt, just saying you're not worthy, you're not capable. Who are you to live your lives? Who are you to achieve the dreams that you really want to? Now, if you're experiencing any one of those symptoms, now when I was younger, I used to experience social anxiety, blushing, worries, doubts, and it really had a big impact in how I would carry out day to day. I really believe it kind of really probably made me drop out of college because my issues were so strong. I wasn't really feeling good enough about myself. Same thing when it comes to things like relationships, health. If you're experiencing issues, the chances are it affects you in many different areas of your life. Now, the thing is, humans have a tendency to do one thing when they begin to experience that issue. If you're experiencing worry right now, if you're experiencing anxiety or fear or anything within your system, the self-talk, the behaviors that you dislike, a fear or a phobia, if you're experiencing it, the first thing that we try to do is run away from it. You try to change your states, you try to get out of that situation. Let's just say you had a fear of public speaking. As soon as you start to feel that fear, what are you going to do? You're going to try to leave that situation, change your environment so you do not have to face that fear again. Maybe you've been hurt in a previous relationship, so now when you get into a relationship, you start to feel that jealousy, you begin to feel that hurt or that distrust, and because the feelings, the symptoms that you experience are strong, you leave that relationship or you self-sabotage it so it just happens naturally. So if you consider that as humans, we go through life, we go through situations, we experience certain symptoms, issues, thoughts, feelings, beliefs, and as soon as we feel that, we resist it by trying to exit that situation. Now, unfortunately, even worse, it could mean that you might be going to drugs or alcohol just to change your emotional state. So maybe if you're experiencing stress, you feel as if you need to have a drink to be able to calm down. Maybe if you're experiencing things like migraines, you have to be able to take the day off work. So we're resisting that situation to then go home into our safe place to try to remedy ourselves, or even sometimes take some form of medication to be able to reduce those symptoms. Now, the thing with symptoms when it comes to our emotional issues that we experience, the more that we resist them, the more that we run away from those feelings that we dislike, the feelings which are putting pressure on our thoughts, putting that physical pressure on how we experience the world around us, that puts pressure on our family life, which puts that real immense heaviness when you go to work or when you go into a relationship. When you experience it, we begin to just try to move away from it. We try to resist going there, so much so that we're almost willing to do something ridiculous just to get out of that situation. We might be thinking, well, I'm just not going to get into a relationship because it just hurts too much to be in one. It hurts so much feeling that jealousy or feeling that doubt and that worry in that relationship, you just might as well not be in that relationship. So you resign and you move away from whatever you're experiencing. That is how we interpret, that's how we experience, that is how we react to our symptoms, our experiences of the things that we dislike. So as soon as we get faced with that fear, when you get faced with that worry, when you get faced with that self-doubt, your natural cue is usually to go in the other direction, to either numb it out or to escape from it in some way. Now, we understand why we do that, right? It's because it's a protection mechanism. We're trying to keep ourselves safe. We're trying to be able to escape that emotion by doing something else, whether it be inducing something, whether it be leaving that situation or ending a relationship or not going for our dreams. Because think about it. Maybe you really want to start up your own business. Maybe that's something that you really want to do, or you want to go for that promotion. But as soon as you begin to consider it and face it, that doubt and that fear just enters your body. So what do? You shut down your dreams, you shut down your purpose, and you try to just leave that whole situation and resign to living a life which is not purposeful, which is not meaningful, which is not passionate, and that just eats you up on the inside. And we know why we do that, because it is a protection mechanism. But how are we able to change this? You see, you do not want to keep on running away from your issues, because what you resist persists. The more you try to resist the feelings that you dislike, the worries and the doubts, the limiting belief, the anxiety, all those things, the more it's willing to begin to enter more of your mind and body. You'll begin to see it in other areas of your life. If you notice that, maybe you have an issue in one area of your life, but it begins to creep into other areas of your life. Maybe once it was just in your career, but now you're bringing it back home to your family. Maybe it was an issue in your health, but now it's starting to lower your confidence. You see, when you resist it, you're actually giving it more life to begin to throw more signals at you. You begin to experience more of the symptoms. You see, what are those symptoms? They are just simple signals from your neurology, from your thoughts, your feelings, from your unconscious mind. And if you try to turn them off, if you try to switch them off, if you try to escape them, they don't disappear. They're still there. Running and hiding from the things that we dislike doesn't solve the issue. It doesn't give us the peace. Temporarily, we might feel safer, but we know deep down in the long run, it's always going to be there. We're going to continue to experience it. And even worse, we're going to not step up and live a purposeful life. We're going to not step up and experience that deep peace that we all have a right to, that we all deserve and crave. You see, if you keep on resisting, it will keep on persisting, it will get worse sometimes, and more importantly, we remain stuck. We feel broken. We feel unfixable. So since we know that the intention is safety, the intention is protection, but it's not doing a good job. So what must we do? We must begin to invite ourselves into what we fear most, the worries and the doubts. You see, the more that you begin to escape it, the bigger the driving wedge you experience between you and your unconscious mind. The more you try to escape it, the more your unconscious mind is not listening, and it's going to keep on giving you more of the same what you dislike. But what if we reapproach it in a different way? What if we start to understand why our body is doing what it's doing? Understand the nature of the beliefs that we're experiencing. Understand the type of feelings we're experiencing, not to run away from them, but to almost go, okay, I don't like it, but you know what? I'm paying attention to them now. You see, when I pay attention to what is uncomfortable, I have the opportunity to make it comfortable. But the more I run away, the bigger that disconnect is going to happen within our system. So my goal for you is rather doing the same old thing of running away from those old issues, or soon to be old issues, I want you to begin to welcome the opportunity for a transformation. Because when you begin to come about that way, where you begin to realize, hey, look, I understand what my body's trying to do to me. Trying to escape is protection, but let's go ahead and create a new way where we can be really safe, where we can start to experience new life. We can approach those feelings, even from a distance. We can approach those behaviors, and we can start to get a deeper clarity over them. What's the intention behind them? What's the purpose behind them? How did they come about? Was it through significant emotional events, or was it a gradual build-up? What is the hidden reason as to why your unconscious mind is continuing to give you those symptoms? You see, when you change your focus and you change your mindset and you begin to decide that I'm going to actually tackle my issues once and for all, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes, I'm going to put the time in. I'm going to put the time in to understand more about myself and how I work on the inside, to be able to figure out a new strategy, to figure out what the root cause of the issue or issue. You see, many people focus on symptoms. You don't want to work on the symptoms. Symptoms are just symptoms. You got to work purely on the root cause. The symptoms are what we feel. The symptoms are what we resist. That's on the surface. That's on the top layer. It's like an iceberg. You see the tip of the surface and you see the issue because that's in your reality, but beneath the surface, beneath the water, is the root cause. It's where your unconscious mind lives, where the issue lives. And we have to begin to reapproach our unconscious mind and begin to, let's do a crazy thought, to befriend our unconscious mind. You see, your mind and body, your unconscious mind is here to protect you. It runs a fight and flight response. It runs the habits. It runs so many things. The walking, the talking, the driving. The ability to heal. It does so many good things to you and for you, for your survival. So we must really allow our issue to counterintuitively become our best friend. You see, the only way you can change your friend would be not to run away, right? You wouldn't run away from your friend if you wanted to help them. You'd begin to approach them in a real rapport way, in a way which is coming from love, which is a way of beginning to support someone, and that will allow that person to potentially change. Now, of course, it's hard to help our friends sometimes because that's not us, but you know what is easier? Our unconscious mind, because that is what we are as well. We are one of the same. We are conscious and unconscious. And yeah, we're consciously aware of that, but we got to connect with that deeper part of us, our unconscious mind. So rather running away from your symptoms, rather running away from situations, running away from the deep, profound love, peace, and happiness in your life, rather running away and letting that to persist, that niggling, ever-increasing symptoms that we experience. Instead, let's go ahead and realize that our system is always trying to protect us, but we just have to educate it. We have to get in rapport with it. We need to be able to integrate with it. We need to be able to get the oneness, let go of the conflict, let go of the disorder, to get order, to get ease in the system. So realize your job is to not run away, not to just self-medicate, not to just escape your dreams and your purpose. Even daily life. Your job is to pay attention, become conscious that there could be something amazing to learn here about yourself and about the world. There could be something so great, so amazing, which actually causes you to do something bigger than you could ever imagine. You see, people who make big transformations, the people who make big changes in the world, they had their stuff. They had their issues, and more often than not, their issues that they experience actually cause them to rise up and do something about it, and then from that comes the bigger and greater success. So before you consider trying to escape the symptoms, I want you to consider maybe paying attention to them, understanding them, beginning to re-educate yourself at an unconscious level to figure out that hidden cause, to get the right strategies. You see, that is the first step, right? We need to take responsibility to actually pay attention, to see what our body's doing at a pure intention, and to start to re-educate it and allow it to become what it was born to be as well. Your purpose, your potentiality, your love, your freedom, your peace, your happiness, your contentment, all those awesome words. You want to be able to experience those, not by running away, but instead paying attention to what's really happening. It's the only way you can really get the freedom. So just allow that to be today's lesson. Now, of course, if you want to be able to get the jump start, and if you enjoyed this, and you want to personally work with me, you might be interested in joining Mind Mastery very, very soon, because it's closing down soon. I really believe it's going to close down very soon as we reach our maximum numbers. At the very least, we've got like another 50 people to join, and then the price has to increase because the founder's rate will then begin to disappear and it'll go back to the rate it was meant to be, its potentiality rate. So if you're really interested, why not see how other people are taking their life, not to just let go of an issue. That's one thing. Not just to let go of that issue, but to let it go and then achieve so much more than you can imagine. Because if you let go of the issue, then you see your true potentiality.
I would recommend Mind Mastery to anyone that wants to overcome any issue in their life, and 100%.
I would buy it for other people if I thought they'd use it, but there's no point in doing that. If you have you ever feel disconnected, you will always have somebody to be connected with on Mind Mastery.
I would recommend Mind Mastery to everyone. Even if you don't think there's improvement that you need to make or specific steps that you need to take to improve your life, everybody can use support. Everybody can use people to guide you. We all need those kinds of guides, and reaching out to somebody, there's no shame in learning, there's no shame in asking for help, and I feel that Mind Mastery truly gives that help and support that I definitely was looking for, and that everybody can help and use a little bit.
You've got nothing to lose. You can try and find the answers everywhere else. You can waste that time, but if you give Mind Mastery a try, you won't regret it. There's so much you don't know about yourself. There's so many answers that you're looking for, which you can find in Mind Mastery.
I would say definitely join Mind Mastery. You've got the support. Joseph has got so much, to give, and so much for everyone to learn. And you have the great support with Joseph and his wife Melissa, as well as the people in Mind Mastery.
The Mind Mastery community, the online part, is an amazing group where everybody is so friendly, so supportive of one another. There is never a negative word. You can log on at any time and there will always be someone who will listen to what you've got to say, and the feedback and the positive comments are amazing. I've travelled all the way from the UK to come to San Diego and be a part of this first seminar, and there are people here from all over the world. It's been an amazing experience. There's such a good vibe, the rapport with everybody. It's amazingly well humoured as well. Although it's very serious stuff that we're doing here, it's also great fun.
Even before meeting you in person, seeing the videos, participating in the live calls, I never feel that there's a screen in between. I feel a connection even through the cyberspace, and same with the other people as well. I feel definitely a connection. You are so passionate about what you do, and it comes through whenever you give, whether it's a process or it's a spontaneous live Facebook chat after a run or something. You really live what you teach, and it comes through very genuinely. So Joseph is a very genuine, loving, giving, warm person.
Joseph, I think, is amazing. He's done amazing work, and he's helped me a lot. As I said, I don't know where I would be if I hadn't met Joseph. He's helped me in so many ways, and I don't think I could give back what he's given to me, and all I could say is thank you.
Joseph is, first of all, I just think he's an excellent hypnotherapist. That's just an absolute given, okay? In terms of running Mind Mastery, I think it's done. I think he's a professional. He's done this by himself. He's self-educated, self-taught. He's been on the journey. He's overcome a lot of things, so he can really teach you. He's walked the walk, and now he's talking the talk, so he can do both. And the thing that's really great is, like I said, he continues to support you throughout the process. And my highest compliment is that he is a kind and caring man. And that makes all the difference.
Okay, so I don't know if Joseph Clough knows this, but I went online, I don't know how many years ago, maybe 3 years ago, and I was trying to deal with a driving phobia. By the way, this weekend, I've been letting other people drive me all over, okay? And somebody was telling me how great this person was, and I went and listened, and I started working with whatever stuff for free for a year or two. I was working for free with all these hypnosis, and it was helping me so much. And as soon as my mastery came on, I didn't pull the trigger right away. It took me a couple months, but as soon as I felt like, okay, I have to do this, I did, and Joseph Clough has helped me so much. I would give anything to help him.
Joseph, the hypnotherapist, his work has been really amazing. I've tried other types of therapy and hypnosis before, and it's helped, but it's never resonated as much as Joseph's work has. You know, I've learned and I've grown so much through Joseph's work, and being here on the weekend and meeting him in person now as well. He's a real stand-up guy. He's fantastic to be around. He's great fun, and it's just been an absolute pleasure to be here.
Joseph is awesome. He is a legend, and he's my hero. He always knows, he always has the answers, but he never gives them to you. You have to find them yourselves, but he gives you the cues. And Joseph often says that you have it in you, and that's true. And he just brings it out. He knows the buttons to press, and you just got to press them.